Hello and welcome back to WD18, the Watford fan channel. It's been a while. We're really sorry. Life's been getting in the way. Life's been lifing. But me and Sam thought we'd squeeze in a little video today to have a look at the state of play at Watford after some interesting, to say the least, performances and results. I'm joined by Mr. Sam Yuko, the one and only. Sam, how are you? Last time I saw you was at Wembley on Sunday, all looking smart and professional.
Exactly, yeah. On my absolute best behavior. Yeah, it was nice watching it's mental, Charlie. I know you go to a lot of high profile games with work too. But like you see the difference between like the top level, like Arsenal, Manchester City compared to like Watford. It's like watching a different sport at times, isn't it? It's just absolutely crazy to me. But no, it was good to see you. I've actually just seen, by the way, the mood is definitely up, by the way. Like the sun's been out this week. I don't know if that's the lighting, but have I already caught the sun with like the tiny bits of rays of sun that have come through already? I feel like I'm going a bit red. But
I definitely caught the sun after being in it for about 3 minutes on Sunday. But yeah, no, that's why I get so excited when I'm seeing players like Stephen Fooney and Max Lane who can trap a ball, pass it through the lines. It's a bit of a shock. I was doing a bit of a stalking job on Max Lane the other day, making sure he was all right. He had his moment with the trophy, so fair play to him. And well, I know you mentioned you spoke to him. Obviously, you can keep it private, but we were working in close quarters with Mr. Troy Deeney, and there was a really good moment at the end. The managers and the players come over to each desk to kind of every broadcaster to do an interview, and when Troy and Pep Guardiola embraced, they had little words, and I was just wondering, what do you think they were saying, Sam?
Oh, I mean, I just had that like horrific thought back to. I thought it was Pep, but do you remember when City scored the sixth against us in the FA Cup final? When it was, I thought it was Pep, but it was Vincent Company. Do you remember walking past Troy and just going, almost like,
It's that emoji, isn't it?
I know. I actually think, and I might be wrong here, so let me know in the comments or in the live chat. I want to say somewhere along the lines, like Pep actually apologized as well, or something like that. It was like we didn't want to. I don't think he'd ever say like we didn't want to be disrespectful. Like City were brilliant, but I think as well, like if you look at Company that day, I think there was a little bit of remorse. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Troy was trying to get onto Pep's coaching team alongside Pep Linders. Who else is there? Colo Torre as well, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of remorse shown that day after they scored the six. Well done, Pep. Yeah, today's going to be a pretty raw video. Not a lot of planning have gone into this, so we're going to need your guys' support. Get in the comments and tell us what you think about the current state of Watford, who's impressed you, who's disappointed. Going to talk about pair of the season contenders, talk a bit about QPR. Got my ticket for QPR today, and go through the recent results. Bit of admin first. The Mental Health World Cup draw is happening tomorrow between 3 and 4. It's going live on the Mental Health World Cup YouTube. Shared the link in the description below. We'll obviously tweet it as well. And it's going around the grounds. Our one's going to be held at Vicarage Road. Obviously, the Mental Health World Cup this year is at different stadiums, including Millwall, QPR, and even Goodison Park, Everton's old stadium. But the draw will be made for a 40-team tournament. I think that's right. So if you guys are getting involved, let us know. And yeah, help the guys out. I know everyone's done a really great effort so far with some fundraising. We've pulled in a few auction and raffle prizes, haven't we, Sam? So we'll be advertising those very soon.
I was going to say, yeah, this week we've it's definitely ramped up in terms of the preparation for it, as well with the auction and the raffle prizes. And yeah, we've got some really, really good and exciting stuff as we have done in previous years that you guys will have the chance to win or bid on as well. We'll go on eventually as well to thank people who have donated stuff closer to the time when it all will be revealed. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled because we've got some exciting stuff coming out.
And come down Saturday, the 9th of May at Vicarage Road.
Well, say that, Charlie. Win a few games, get into the playoffs.
So the playoffs, the teams playing 4th and 5th are playing on the 9th of May, I think.
Okay.
So I think we would have to finish 5th.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
percentage chance do you give that of that happening?
0.1%. I wonder what the Opta chances are now.
1%. Yeah, less than 1%. Ian makes a really great point. I think we need to make everyone aware of the great season that the Golden Girls are having. Only 2 wins away from winning league and promotion. I think they beat #United on the weekend, but they've been flying. So yeah, if anyone gets a chance to
Back of
watch
the Vic at the weekend as well, I believe. It's either this weekend or next weekend. The Golden Girls are back. So, yeah, on the Watford website, I'm sure you can get your tickets as well. And, yeah, they definitely deserve our support.
go to see the Watford team thriving, and hopefully the girls can get promoted like they did a couple of years ago under Damon Malafrop, who's also doing very well at his new club. But I won't get into that. And obviously, Hertfordshire Mind campaign, 5 goals in March, 3 of them coming against Wrexham, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And also, we've got the WD18 merch that is live. There's some nice summary items like caps, T-shirts, nice sweatshirts for a bit of a light rock. So we've had some pictures sent in to us. Thank you for those guys. If anyone else has got any, send us a picture. Help us spread the word. All proceeds for everything I've just mentioned are going to really important mental health charities, especially Hertfordshire Mind campaign. Sam, have I covered everything there in a half decent way?
I think so. Smashed it, Charlie. Yeah. Brilliant. I think, yeah, let's get straight into it, I think.
Let's do it. Me and Sam are taking it in turns to host. But if you guys have a preferred host, to let us know in the comments, and if they get enough traction, they can be the permanent one. Okay, Sam, I want 1 or 2 lines on the following games. If you want to elaborate on more or talk about incidents, you can.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but the last 1, 2, 3, 4 games since we last did a video, after our last big win, Bristol City away, Jeremy Gaki had torn off his hamstring after that thunderbolt. We've missed 4 games, so we need to recap them. I'll start with you with the best one. Sheffield Wednesday away. Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
I'll go 2 words. Complete dross. That's what I'll go with. Just rubbish. I'll throw it back to you as well, Charlie. Go on. Give me a few words on Sheffield Wednesday as well.
The most angry, disappointed I've been this season, probably. I thought
since Sheffield Wednesday at home, at least.
Yeah, but just in this context, in terms of needing to get a result, I just thought the attitude of the players was poor. I think it was quite clear to see they thought they could rock up and win, whereas Sheffield United were probably the better team and probably had the majority of the chances to win the game. And we needed Semedo to get us out of trouble again with a last-minute goal, which was pretty shambolic, to be honest. But the fact that we failed to... I mean, we had 2 big chances with Kurangor, didn't we, at the start, which he should have scored.
Yeah.
But that second half performance, I was worried. I thought the way they haven't responded to Ed Steele, whatever he said at half-time after a really bleak first half, was worrying.
I think for me, sorry, I know we said we were going to go quick fire here. I think, again, this just underlines that this is a culture problem at this football club, and it's not always going to be the head coach, because even though the head coach was different, it was pretty much, not exactly the same, but very similar game from the first game, wasn't it? Even with Semedo equalising in the last minute. 0 lessons learned. And, we're probably, I think we might be the only team in the league not to have beaten them this season.
Yeah, I think we're the team who's conceded first the most, or we were after we conceded first against them, which says a lot. Ben's message here: the 4 points lost against Sheffield Wednesday are criminal. Would still be in the playoff equation if we had put them away. Remember, Imran Loser missed that penalty against Sheffield Wednesday at home. Obviously, we created a lot more chances in the home game, but yeah, the away game was shambolic. And I know I've said a line or 2 on each of these games, but Sam, we're going raw. We can just chat.
Yeah.
And you said something which I was going to expand on, but I completely forgot. It's hard doing this hosting malarkey. It'll come back to me maybe. But Stoke away. Watford 1, Stoke 3. I saw you there.
Oh, yes, we were there.
My first game back after a long layoff.
What a
And
return.
it didn't hit the spot at all, Sam. I've got to admit, the first
No.
beer in the pub we went to was flat in a plastic glass. There was fans arguing afterwards. I don't really want to touch it too much. Some chants that I did not like at all in the away end. And the Stoke team would be pretty bang average.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tom Ince tries a back heel. Again, big chances missed with Tom Ince and Imran Noosa in the first half.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, Tom Ince with a back heel in a poor position, concede the goal. They made it 2-0. Iran Kunda scored probably one of the goalless seasons, which meant absolutely nothing. And then, yeah, we had a shocker at the back. Gogletice got sucked in, and it was a good finish from them. Didn't really need to recap the game, but I just thought I'd read your feelings, thoughts, pains.
Yeah, incredibly deflating, I think is the best way of saying it. On a sort of smaller level, I'd say even though we were in the game, I think at times, like, I felt like when Aaron Kunda scored to make it 2-1, I was almost like, oh, we're back in the game now with 10 minutes to go, maybe. And then within 2 minutes, we conceded straight away again. So that was deflating. But on a wider scale, even after Sheffield Wednesday, obviously it was a terrible result for us. And without doubt, it was 2 points dropped. But from memory, the table actually went our way that night. I think we actually closed the gap on the playoffs. So when at Stoke would have actually, I don't want to say made that Sheffield Wednesday point look okay, but it would have actually, I think 4 points across those two games would have been okay-ish. But the fact that we threw it away against Stoke was just, not good enough at all. And yeah, a really disappointing performance where I think the questions were there of the manager too.
What questions, Sam? Sorry, can you elaborate on that? Was there any particular decisions that you didn't like from him, or? I'm
trying to think back to Stoke now.
You've said it. You got stand by.
I know. I just think it.
We can get to the Ed chat because, loads of decisions in game, and I don't think he's a key part, is he?
No, I'm not putting all of this on Ed Still. I think there's so many issues that we've spoken about countless times on this channel over the years. I just don't really see a motivated group at the moment. And I see a group who are absolutely exhausted, whether that's their fault or whether that's the training methods or whether it's the squad building. I don't know, because I actually think the squad building was okay this year. Maybe it's the training method. I'm not too sure. But it just seems that the team is just so flat. The confidence is flat. The atmospheres are flat generally. And I think the Stoke game really epitomised that. I don't think we ever looked like winning the game, did we? Or ever really getting into it. I know we made those chances in the first half, in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. But I don't know, did you, being in that way, and Charlie, did you ever feel like we'd get anything from that Stoke game?
No, I mean, when Aaron Kunda scored, like you said, there was probably 2 minutes of hope. But again, the fact that we conceded straight away just sums up where we are and the potential mentality.
It's just, I just feel like countless times this season we've seen that teams who are on poor runs or a lower confidence, again, it's like Dr. Tottenham, Dr. Watford, we're the perfect remedy for it. I look at Portsmouth at home, Preston, Blackburn, Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke. They've all been on poor runs this season. Sheffield United in the first game against them, in the away game, we're all on poor runs. Come up against Watford, pick up points, the confidence is back. So I don't know whether it's a complacency thing, but yeah, it's just so many missed opportunities this season. The league is so poor, isn't it? It's such a poor league. I'm not saying Watford are any good, but it just makes it even more frustrating that we haven't taken this opportunity this season.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've said this season that I didn't think they were any good. I didn't think Stoke were that great. Going to talk about Leicester. But Sam, because this season we've failed against the teams towards the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
And beating the teams in and around us. Which moves us on to that midweek game at Wrexham, which was, I think it had the moment of the season in, but the performance was pretty good. In the first half, we were at him. Mark Bowler getting the goal. Georgie looked back to his best.
Yeah.
I thought they scored early, and I thought, here we go in the second half. Poor set piece to concede. But although they had a lot of possession, they didn't create many chances. So Yeah, you were there for that Wrexham game. What are your memories
Yeah,
from that?
a weird second half because, like you said, they scored so early, but I never felt like we conceded. We were very much in control, weren't we, throughout that entire second half? Yeah, I think it's a case maybe that when we play against better opposition, the performance levels naturally rise. Playing against better teams, better players,
Is
and
that a
then I
problem in
think
itself, the mentality?
yeah, definitely because I think at the same time we then turn up against I don't smaller teams is the wrong word, but the weaker teams in the league, and our performance levels drop straight away as well. Partly because I feel like we play into other teams' hands, and also because I think there's an arrogance to it. We turn up thinking we'll get 2 wins out of 2 against the likes of Sheffield Wednesday, and we only pick up 2 points all season. So I think it's that. But I also think the reaction had to be there against Wrexham. We had to get a reaction, and I think the players knew that. I feel like we're very good at getting reactions, but we're never good at being proactive as a team ourselves. And when we've got those opportunities to close the gap on the top 6 or break into the top 6, we're just not doing it. And then we're always playing catch up, which is frustrating.
We do need to talk about the Beauvais moment
Yeah,
because I had tears in my eyes watching from home.
yeah,
He's a player. We know his story.
yeah,
Literally had a heart attack. Pretty much almost died. He's come back from that. He's joined Watford. He's playing football again. And every time he's come on, I've always thought, I've had that little thing in my mind. Imagine if he gets a goal, like how special that would be. And
yeah.
for it to happen in front of the Rookery, his celebrations, like, I don't know, remember that celebration Messi did, I think in one of the Asco games where
Yeah,
like everyone's kind of touching God kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, special moment for him. Really, really happy for him. What have you made of him so far? Every time he has
yeah.
been on the pitch, that moment in particular.
Yeah, a really, really special moment, arguably moment of the season so far. Yeah, the atmosphere when towards Beauvais generally has been really, really positive. The fans really like him. I think we know we've got such a talented player there. What made it even more special, I think, was the amount of Roma fans and Fiorentina fans who were in the stadium for, well, I say for some reason, they've pretty much been at every game so far. The amount of Roma fans I've seen at Watford games supporting Beauvais. So it's a really, really good story. I've really liked him. I think he's a really, I don't know if it's because we're seeing him in sort of short spells, so he's got the energy to burn off in short periods, but I feel like he's a really aggressive runner, particularly off the ball. He's a really aggressive presser. He can play slightly further forward. He can also play slightly deeper. And he's a player who, from what I've seen, likes to get on the ball and likes to try and get involved in the action as well and bring Watford up the pitch. So, yeah, the circumstances of the goal as well were brilliant. Getting that last minute goal to secure 3 points in front of the Rookery. A great moment, definitely.
Yeah, I've been really infused by him. And my one question is, why hasn't he played more? Why hasn't
Yeah,
he started more? And I think this must go down to something that we just don't have the details and understand about fitness and where he's come from, not playing at all, to
yeah,
being thrust in the thick of the championship season. So like
yeah,
you have to back the guys, but I just want to see him get let loose. And I love the club put out a little changing room video when he done a little speech after his goal.
yeah,
And I love when he basically apologized, saying sorry guys if I've been too aggressive in training, and
yeah,
I just think that's the type of player that you want. Do you know what I mean?
definitely.
Someone who's going to run around and fight and do you know what I mean do what all they takes to win. I think Mourinho called him Mad Dog, didn't he? So
Yeah,
he's excited to have him. I'm hoping he gets more minutes towards the end of the season, and hopefully we'll have him towards next season. And then Sam, we'll end this, whatever you want to call it, sandwich with Watford 0, Leicester 0. I think it was our first 0-0, definitely at
yeah,
Vicarage Road this season.
been a while.
My first game back at Vicarage Road in months. Sam, I just spent the whole second half whispering Italian food items
Yeah.
that you see on the menu. Such a bad game, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a lovely Italian after, which definitely, well, made up for the day, saved the day a little bit, I think. But so disappointing. Again, a team who are struggling at the bottom, so low on confidence, Leicester. Whether they'll go or not, I'm not too sure. Maybe Charlie, actually, towards the end of this video, we're coming up to the Easter break and the international break. We'll do our our championship top 6 and bottom 3 predictions, but don't throw you under the bus there with it. But Leicester obviously are right in that scrap at the bottom, and we've just given them, I don't want to say a confidence boost, but we've given them a point on the board when we really should have taken the game to them. They, without doubt, had the best chances to win the game. Patson Daka missing a penalty, missing an absolute sitter at the back post, and then probably one of the most outrageous attempts at goal I've ever seen at Vicarage Road, with that scorpion kick right at the end. And yeah, Leicester, I think, would have been disappointed not to have won the game. And again, when I'd say our season probably peaked in that period of 4 games.
Birmingham game.
Birmingham at home. And then just before that Birmingham game, we had Leicester away, didn't we? Or 2 games before that. I think it was Leicester away, Norwich away, Birmingham. And in that Leicester away game, I'll still come out and say that's the worst performance an opposition team have put in against us this season. Like, they were so poor at the King Power, Leicester. And we just, I don't want to sound disrespectful here, but they weren't much better at Vicarage Road, I don't think, by any stretch. But our performance levels have obviously dropped, and yeah, it was just a really flat, disappointing performance. And again, did we create anything? I don't think we looked like scoring at any point.
I think the stat Adam Drury tweeted was we had 6 shots in the game, which is the fewest by a Watford team at Vicarage Road since 2022.
Yeah. Flat, wasn't it?
I just that team was so vulnerable that we played.
Yeah.
I thought all we needed to do was get our key players in good positions and we should create chances. But I think our biggest problem the whole season has been chance creation. When I look at someone like Kurumgor, and he's got his detractors, and I think this season, I know I've got it down, what's this season been like compared to last season? But I just don't think we create many chances. When was the last time we saw Kurumgor have, well, I don't think Kurumgor's had a 1-on-1 all season. I know he might not be that type of striker, but in years gone by, Bayer or Rajovic would have. And I want to see Kurumgor, see how he's finishing, see what his composure's like. But just Georgie, Luz are both off it against Leicester.
Yeah.
Obviously, yes, we have got loads of injuries, but Iran Kunda, I wonder why. Look, my memory's that bad. I wonder why did he start? I think he did start, didn't he, against Leicester, or did he come on?
Yeah, he did. He did start. He was absolutely on his feet at the end. Absolutely finished off his feet.
He had that chance in the first half, didn't he? That the keeper saved, but that wasn't a well-crafted move or anything.
No.
Are the players just knackered? Because we have been. There's been a lot of injuries, but why can't we get up for it? Why can't we put in consistent performances?
Yeah, I really wonder what's going on in training, because whether the intensity has gone up massively here. Pierre Ekwa has been, we'll come on to him in a minute because I think he's been a positive, but the intensity in training must have gone up because we look, come match days, we look absolutely exhausted, don't we? They just don't look like, I feel like for long periods of games at the minute, we're just trying to hold on is even the wrong word, because at times we look comfortable, but we're just really struggling to go through the gears. And some of the players look absolutely spent on their feet, which has been a downfall for us, I think, in the last few games, particularly against Leicester. I think the atmosphere, Vicarage Road accepted that we weren't going to win that game very quickly. I think and I think again it contributes that they switched sides and made us shoot towards the Rookery in the first half, which I absolutely hate.
I forgot that. To be fair, a point's good result. Do you know what I mean? The Rookery curve.
Yeah, I mean, something I did want to look at, Charlie, and I'm just going to share my screen now, is that we've now played against, if we can see this, against these teams down at the bottom from 18th downwards, we've played 11 games this season. If we want to work out how many points we've picked up, so 2 against Sheffield Wednesday, 3 against Oxford, that's 5, 4 against Leicester, that's 9, 2 against Portsmouth, 11. We beat West Brom 14, 1 against Blackburn 15, and then we lost to Charlton. So 15 points out of a possible 36 against teams down there is not good enough at all, is it? That's so poor, I think.
Robin Hood stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Yeah. And it's just, I know this question's been bandied about and some people don't like it, but I just don't think while Gino's in place, we're not a serious club, and
No.
we're going to get into all of that, I'm sure, as the season ends, and I don't want to be too negative. But yeah, let's talk about some positives from the last run of games. Selvik, great penalty save. He deserves a shout out. And Ekwa, he made a good point.
Yeah.
Any other players you wanted to shout out or positives from that last 4 games?
Yeah, Pierre Ekwa was my big one. I think he's been solid. I know Gogle Chidze is splitting opinion. I'm actually not minding him too much. No, you're shaking your head, Charlie. What? Why is it? What's the issue?
I'm not having him. He's just too erratic for me. I think if he played the whole season, he would have 5-6 clangers, and his career didn't start off too well with that Southampton game. His first moment, that Stoke one was a really, really poor one as well. I don't know. It's just great to see Matty Pollock back in that team, and El Capitano next season.
Yeah, well, I'd love him to be El Capitano next season. He's been good. You know, it's interesting, Saba, that he's splitting opinion. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think he's been okay. Aqua's been good. I think no, Mark Bowler again as well. He's done okay. I think Bank was done okay he's playing for Republic of Ireland tonight as well. Not starting, but they've got their World Cup qualifying semi-final. I think there's players though that we have to talk about who haven't performed in the last few games.
Can I just before you get into some players, I think a theme in the last 4 games is the right back situation.
Yeah.
Did True get injured against Sheffield Wednesday with a shoulder injury?
Yeah, it was the shoulder. Yeah.
Obviously after Ngakia and James Abankwah, who I think has been pretty good this season. He's been playing right back, but when he's striding down the wing, he's not exactly David Beckham, is he? So I don't know. Every team gets injuries. I think ours is quite a lot. I think it'd be dubbed as a crisis if our squad didn't have a lot more depth this season. But I think that's been a real issue for us in the recent games. That imbalance, and when we've tried to attack down that wing, we've just absolutely zero threat. And I don't think that's anyone's fault. Or could there be a better option? You're not playing Iran Kunda at right back, are you? Any other better option as a right back?
I can't think of one.
Little Mendy.
A right back? Nah, don't think so. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I think we've actually built the squad quite well this season. We built it up. I don't want to say quite well, but in terms of depth, we've built it. It's been a lot better than previous years. So there's an element of being unlucky to it, like particularly Patrice's injury. You can't legislate for that. Like that is an incredibly unlucky injury. So it's been difficult in that regard. But yeah, should we get into some players? We won't dig too many out, but yeah, what a place to start for Foremost Mendy. A part of me feels sorry for Foremost Mendy. We were told in the summer that he was our number 1 target, and like he is the centre back that we've been dying for, etc. And he obviously has that performance the other day, that first half against Leicester, where he gave away the penalty and just generally just did not look comfortable at all. His passes were bobbling around, and it was generally a poor game. Now, it's very harsh to zoom in on that performance by itself for Foremost Mendy and say, well, he can't have been our number 1 target. I think it's a combination of a player who's just not sharp and maybe not fit is harsh, but not up to match speed because he simply hasn't been playing enough minutes this season. And I think the reason a lot of fans were frustrated with him was because we were led to believe that he was going to be so good, which again is just a comms breakdown, I think, from the clubs to what we've been told eventually. So yeah, a really, really poor one for Foremost Mendy. I can't imagine he'll be here next season. I feel for him, but that was a poor one against Leicester, wasn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, it was a stinker. I was just looking at his foot mob, and he actually only got 6.3, which not too bad, really. Imran Loser got 5.9. Kieran Gore got 5.5. So, yeah, really bad one for him. And yeah, I think Sam, he's come into a new country, doesn't speak the language. He's had 3 different head coaches, and I imagine all 3 of them have communicated differently to him. He was playing as a right wing back against Millwall.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think it's the end of his Watford career, but we shall see. But yeah, really bad game. He's up against Fatawu, who's talent-wise probably the best player in the Championship. I haven't watched the highlights back. I have no idea if it was a penalty, but yeah, not a good game. I mentioned a player there. Joe has mentioned a player here as well. Imran Loser. 2 questions. When was the last time he had a good game? I don't want to be too harsh. And what do you think that's down to?
Yeah, he's been frustrating. I'm actually trying to think the last time Loser was at his absolute best, beyond Christmas, beyond that peak of the season that we had. I don't know this for sure, but it does look a little bit like that he's playing through injury, and he doesn't look 100% sharp. And we're just trying to get him out there because when everyone is completely on it, he is without doubt our most talented player, isn't he? I don't think anyone would really argue against that. So he's had it's been a difficult, well, not even a few weeks now, couple of months for Imran Loser, with his drop in form. What I would say, what I want to see a bit more is that it feels like when Watford play well, Imran Loser plays well. And it's not often the other way around. It's not often a case of Imran Loser playing well, therefore Watford play well. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I wanted to see him drag the team a bit more and take a bit more control of games himself, trying to show for the ball a bit more. I feel like we said this on Saturday, Charlie. This isn't specifically Loser, but we've got players who are very good at looking like they're showing for the ball, but they're not actually doing it. They're very good at looking like they're getting busy and then they're making effort, but they're not really. Like they're good at hiding behind players and then complaining when they don't get it. I'm not saying that's a Loser problem, but as our best player, and he might not be that type of player, I want to see him come in, take control of the game, take authority of it. I think Eduardo Bove will be better suited to that role. I think he's a much more aggressive runner and someone who'd get after the ball, up the intensity for us. But yeah, not been a good couple of months for Loser, but it does look like he's playing through injury.
Yeah.
And I wonder as well if he probably now knows that our season's done and he is coming to the end of his Watford career, which, I mean, it has been about 5 years now since Imran Loser came to Watford. I remember I was at his debut against Brighton away in the Premier League, and which coincidentally was Troy Deeney's last ever game for Watford, which is weird to think that Deeney and Loser would have shared a dressing room at some point. But I think subconsciously he knows that it's the end of his Watford career, and who knows how that's also impacting his performances.
Yeah, I mean, I think you made a really good point about playing through injury. And like you said, I think he's going to want to move on now. But yeah, it's just been disappointing that he hasn't been able to reach those levels. Again, like we said about every other player in the team, having that consistency, playing different roles, whether he's dropping really deep to collect the ball. Like I said, because he's that good, he's great at building up for us, but he's also great at chance creation when he's at his very best. And that's what I think we've missed recently. He hasn't been putting in those. At the start of the season, he was putting in such dangerous balls and, do you know what I mean, really clever through balls and getting us on the attack. And yeah, it's just been a real shame. But I agree with what you're saying about when we play well is generally when a Loser plays well, and that hasn't been aligned. So it's such a shame. But I think one thing to mention as well, Kiprianu has been injured this season. Was he playing his better football next to the Kip?
Yeah, I forget about the Kip. I feel like he's someone who might feel like a bit of a new signing next season as well, because it would have been so long since we last saw him. He was definitely playing, and I feel like one thing that Kip would always say is that his role is to clean up and give it to the players who are better on the ball, and that's what they did so well together. I think he's also missing the runners either side. I think one thing that Loser was really good at was playing that ball forward quickly where there was pace there, whether that was Rocco Vata, Quadro Bar, Otman Mama, and Ora and Kunda as well. And yeah, it is nuts. Like we were saying how talented we are in attacking areas, and pretty much all of them are injured, which is, yeah, you can't legislate for. But yeah, difficult one.
Sam, although Loser has had a bit of a dip in form, would you say he's a contender for player of the season? And who else would you say is a contender for player of the season?
Yeah, I've had to think about this for who it should be, and for me, it's between two. It's between Imran Loser and Mark Bowler, for different reasons. I think Mark Bowler has probably been our most consistent player. I think he's consistently been at a 7 out of 10 throughout this season. He's had good games even when Watford haven't necessarily had good games. So I think Mark Bowler's a candidate, but I think for the highest peak this season in terms of the peak level of performances, Loser, without doubt, in that period where we were really good under Javi, was fantastic. You think back to that pass against Bristol City at home where he found Mark Bowler for as an assist, was fantastic. So I'd probably lean towards giving it to Imran Loser, just because of how high his peak was. But yeah, between those two, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I had the same feeling about last season, really, where I thought Matty Pollock should have won it just pure for consistency. And this season, I think Mark Bowler's been our most consistent player. First season in at the club, he's got 5 goal involvements, which is the same as Kayembe at left back. He got dropped, was it at the start of Ed Steele's reign, wasn't it? Which is pretty surprising. But whenever he's come back in, he's been great. Yeah, Loser's probably going to win it, but Mark Bowler definitely deserves a shout. Jeremy Ngakia, do you think he deserves a shout?
Yeah, Ngakia, definitely a good shout. I think he's definitely had his best season in a Watford shirt, in terms of goal involvements as well. Yeah, Ngakia, definitely a good shout. Pollock, I think, has he played enough, Matty? I think he's been reliable, but probably not at that level of player of the season. And then, yeah, you're looking at Marma for those moments as well. Probably is within a shout too. So interesting. I don't think it's ever as in previous years. Come on. Let's be serious here, Charlie.
That's not disrespect, Eddie.
I think in previous years it's been very cut and dry, hasn't it? Whether that's Joao Pedro a few years ago, Yasser Asprilla, who got it last year? Wesley, who got it a few years ago, didn't he? Loser as well last season. Yeah, for his resurgence. So I think it's in previous years it's been very cut and dry, but I don't think this season it has been, or at least the peak of whoever wins it has been as high as previous years.
Let us know in the comments any other contenders that we have missed out. Just on a side note, Bove, Ekwa, and the Kip are midfield next season. Can't see much creativity there.
No, nothing in there. Just Bove running and then Ekwa and Kip just sweeping up as we take on attack going forward.
A lot of destroying, a lot of aggression, a lot of tackles, which is maybe something we missed. But I'd like a bit of creativity in the central area as well, if possible. And I'm sure it'll be the case when Loser goes, we're going to miss him. But that is an area of the pitch. Is like how do we replace him?
Yeah, I think someone. Yeah, I mean, I think someone slightly higher up the pitch in that number 10 role is something that we've lacked at points this season. Georgie's obviously moved a bit out wide, and I still think his best position is in that number 10 role in the middle of the pitch, where he's got that freedom to roam out wide as well. And I think at times out wide he is a little bit isolated. He's been a bit hit and miss in the last few weeks. Sometimes we're sat there going, "Wow, Georgie is back to his best," and then sometimes it's like so poor again. If you had to push, I'll give you, Charlie, a list of Watford players now, and we'll go into a whole. We might do keep, loan, sell in the summer as well, and we'll talk about the squad. I'll give you a few names, Charlie. Yes or no? Will they be Watford players come the start of next season? So we'll start with the simple one. I think we know this. Nestaria and Kunda.
Yes.
Yes. Mamadou Doumbia.
Yes.
Luka Kiramgor.
Yes.
even though he's on loan from Udinese.
Nah,
I think
he's
we
not
can make
really
that
bad.
permanent. No, true. Rocco Vata,
Yes.
Otman Mama.
Yes.
Wow.
What squad? We're winning it all.
Quadro Bar,
Yes. Speed up with these names, Sam. Come on.
Georgie Chatfatadze,
Yes.
and Imran Loser.
No.
No. So you think all those other names? So you think Loser will be the only big hitter to go in the summer?
I think we're going to want at least 15, 20 million for Georgie, and they'll go once he gets back in form. They can get that value back up. Don't know how old is Georgie. Is he like 25?
Yeah, something like that. I think he's coming up to sort of what would be his peak years.
Yeah. And then just all the other players that you said, Sam, have they done enough to get moves? Whereas if they stayed for another season and reach even half of their potential, but have more consistency, and then their value would probably triple or quadruple.
I'm at 2.5. I think 2 will go. I think Imran will go. I do think Otman Mama will go as well.
Yeah,
I think
I think he's the most likely because they can flip him for a huge fee. However, I think if we sold him for 10 million, say in the summer, I think if he had one more season in the championship or even until January, and like hits the ground running, he could probably be worth 20, 25.
Yeah.
But I think someone made a good point, and we've had the recent accounts out. I don't think me and Sam are accountants and don't want to go into too much details on those. And if anyone's got any more detail or points they want to make about the recent accounts, please get in the comments so we can discuss it now. Apologies, we don't have as much intel on that as possible. I think the gist is, and I might be wrong, that one of the top lines was we were 50% down on revenue because this is last year of parachute payments. So we are going to have to sell players. Let me know if I've got that wrong, which is highly likely.
Yeah.
So you're right, Sam. If we are going to have to sell players, we're going to have to generate at least 20, 30 million maybe in player sales. So maybe you're right about Mama. Is there any other potential players that we could sell for a profit?
Yeah, just on Mama as well. I think winning that African Young Player of the Year award as well, that will definitely add a few million onto the price tag. The other one that I'm feeling that I could see him going is Quadro Bar. I do think that we could see him move on in the summer. I know he's incredibly injury prone.
I love him, but how is he? He won't pass a medical.
I wouldn't say
who's taking a punt on him.
I don't think he'd upgrade in terms of. I could see him taking a sideways move to the Championship, somewhere where he's guaranteed to play. I don't think any of the Watford managers that have played that have in the last 2 years, other than maybe Tom Cleverley, have had Quadro Bar on their team sheets. And I know that's partly because he can't get a run of form together, but I wonder if he's thinking maybe a fresh start. I don't know.
How much would the club sell for?
Because of his injury record, I'd be shocked if we got over 4 to 5 million for Quadro Bar.
I think the hierarchy look at him as a potential big asset. And again, they will gamble on the fact that if we can get 25 games from him, his value will increase a lot. We'll get to all these conversations a bit later on.
Yeah.
Have Watford improved under Ed still?
No. Straight answer for you, no. I think it's been flat. Just like my answer just now, it's flat. I don't think we've got worse, really. I just think our season's over. The players are metaphorically on the beach, and we're just sort of we're cruising till the end of the season, basically.
Should he have done better then with the players available? Do you think he's been unlucky with injuries? What have you seen on the pitch that's different from Javi or Pez?
The Pez, God, I forget about him. It's like another lifetime Paulo Pezzolano, isn't he? Not a lot. Haven't seen too much different, other than the way that we're setting up, but the intensity towards the end of Javi to what we've seen under Ed still isn't any different. It's difficult to say because, I think something got going on in training in terms of the intensity. That's why our players are dropping like flies at the moment. And I think Ed Still's really trying to instill a real. He wants our players to show a lot more fight, a lot more running, a lot more aggression in games. And I've got a feeling he's trying to get them to replicate that in training, which is just leading to more and more injuries, which is what we're seeing now. I think it's difficult to do. I know it was probably the feeling and the angle was a lot more under Chris Wilder, but it's reminding me a bit towards when Chris Wilder came in and we were clutching at straws for a long time. Is our season still going? But it never really was, and the players knew that from a very early point, and just going through the motions for the last 10 to 12 games, and it feels a bit similar now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about the Chris Wilder. I think the big difference between him and Javi for me was he put the players in a shape which suited the players more.
Yeah.
Slightly. I mean, even towards the end of Javi went more to a 4-2-3-1. I remember Doumbia playing as a 10 against Wrexham, which worked pretty well. And Javi did change from his 4-4-2, I did think. But he still made some really bizarre choices. But yeah, apart from that, he's brought some good vibes. He's obviously a good people pleaser, but I don't think it's his fault at all.
No.
I'm just not allowing myself to invest in any way. So yeah, I don't. Someone's asked the question, but is he going to be here next season? And do you want him to be here next season? I hate saying the way we're talking so like blasé about a man's job. It feels a bit crass, but that's Watford FC.
Do I want him here next season? I'd probably say yes. I can't say it hasn't. I can't say what I've seen so far has filled me with confidence, and I've absolutely loved what I've seen. But we've tried everything so far, haven't we? To the point now where I think he's actually likable, and I think he's someone who will say it as it is if things are poor. So I think we might as well stick with him. Just try and stick with the manager for a little bit and see what can happen. And we need that bit of stability. Do I think he'll be here next season? No, I don't. I don't know if I said it on a previous video, but I've definitely said it at games to people. The only way that I could have seen Ed still staying in a job is if we got into the top 6 and lost in the playoffs. I think if we'd got into the playoffs and won the playoffs, I think they'd have sacked him and said, thanks for getting us to the Premier League. Now we need a Premier League manager. If we finish outside the playoffs, which we will, I think they'll say you failed. We need another manager in. And I think the only way that he would have kept his job is if we got into the playoffs and lost in there, and they would have said, do you know what? You got us in the top 6. It's something to build on. So no, because I don't think we will get top 6. I don't think he will be here next season.
Josh says, problem isn't the manager, it's an issue with the club itself and won't change. Something ingrained in the club because of Gino, like giving Javi false promises, etc. Yeah. Just poor. Again, it just feels like the same stuff we've been talking over and over again. So I'm sure we're going to see in a week after that Coventry game whether Ed Still will be the Watford manager for next season. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think my biggest fear is like him being the Watford manager and then they do a Rob Edwards and sack him after 10 games. I like him. They obviously hired him for a reason. He's kind of highly respected. Although it's not a big one, he has got some kind of connection with the players. Can they build that? I think I don't want to go too much into it. I get accused of being a Clev's apologist, but there's a lot of comments in this video, especially at the start, about Tom Cleverley, especially looking at seeing what he's doing with Plymouth right now. So is that they're never going to learn? But is that some learning that we can do from last season?
Yeah.
Oh God.
There's no chance if Tom Cleverley was the manager now that we'd be worse off than we are, having had the 3 managers that we've done this season. And I feel like, again, like all the videos that we are doing at the moment, it's slipping into the same thing. But it's just been an absolute waste. A waste of a pre-season under Paolo Pezzolano. A waste of our first 10 games under Paolo. Things were good under Javi at the start, and then we wasted the last 5 or 6 games under him. We wasted the January transfer window, and because of all of that, that's why I don't blame Ed Still necessarily. Ed Still's now been left with all of this waste, and he's basically just trying to form something while the players are already on the beach. So, yeah, a difficult end to the season, I think. but not something that we are used to now over the last few years.
Would we have had a better season if Cleves was still in charge?
Wow. I'll say the same. I think it would have ended up the same as now. You?
I think we would have had a better season. Even from the short time, I thought what he'd done with the squad that he had, the fact we would have been able to build on that. The squad was a lot better than we had from last season. And with the quality of the league being poorer, I think we would have done better. I don't know if we would have got playoffs.
I think the mood generally, if things hadn't gone absolutely terribly under Cleves in this season, if he was here, the mood would be a lot better. Almost that we would have had a year of some stability too. That would have hopefully impacted the players as well, knowing that they can't just give up and throw a manager under the bus. Yeah, I don't know. An alternate universe, but hopefully Plymouth can secure a top 6 place, and he'll be in the playoffs in League One.
What's the goal for the rest of the season, Sam?
Wow, what a question. Just the mood, isn't it? It's just getting the vibes up, isn't it? And just trying to enjoy Watford a bit. The season's done realistically, and it's just hopefully seeing Imran Louza back to his best. If Otman Marma's back off the international break, seeing him back to his best. If it's the last games that they're going to play for Watford, let's enjoy them. But yeah, and it's going to be very Watford, isn't it? That like we beat QPR, results go our way, and then the door is slightly ajar, and we're going, could we? But yeah, no, we're never going to string those results together.
I'll just be happy with a win at Loftus Road, and then I can
exactly beat QPR, and then we're all on the beach.
Sam, before we finish, QPR prediction, and do you want to do this promotion prediction and relegation prediction?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll start off with QPR, who have been poor in the last couple of months and then went on to beat Portsmouth 6-1 at Loftus Road. So you never know what you're going to get with them. I think something that's going to heavily impact us is one thing in the last few weeks generally is our lack of pace has been really, really alarming, I think. And our big outlet for pace at the moment is Nestaria and Kunda, who is going to be absolutely shattered coming straight from Australia for this game. So I doubt he'll start. I think we'll lose 3-1 at Loftus Road. You?
Is Marma back fit?
Probably won't be fit enough to start. The Ince on one side, Georgie on the other side, you imagine.
I regret paying £39. I'm going to go for 3-3. My teams to get promoted are Coventry, Ipswich, and Wrexham in the playoffs.
Wow, going Wrexham, fair play. I think Millwall come second. And I think the playoffs is a momentum game. And I think the momentum is going to be with Southampton. So I'll go with Southampton to win the playoffs.
What a shrewdy you are. Bottom 3, I am going for Sheffield Wednesday, who Watford failed to beat twice this season. I'm going for... I really want Oxford to stay up. I'm going for Portsmouth. No, I'm going for Leicester and Blackburn.
Blackburn, wow. Sheffield Wednesday, obviously they're gone. I do think Oxford will go. But although I think they'll put up a good fight, they've got three points coming up in a few weeks when they play against Watford. So that should boost their chances. And I think it will be Portsmouth as well. I think there's a little bounce going on at West Brom at the moment, and same as Blackburn as well. So both of those teams should be okay.
Well, we're playing West Brom away, aren't we? So there you go. Thanks everyone for listening. Quickly reminder, Mental Health World Cup draw is tomorrow at 3 p.m. on the Mental Health World Cup YouTube channel. Make sure to check that out. And the link will be in the description. Sam, any final words?
Yeah, no, it's obviously the end of the month as well, so we'll share details too on how to donate for March and for £1 for every goal the Watford scored this season. So yeah, make sure to get involved with that, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
QPR, let's hope it's a sunny game. Let's hope we can beat them for the first time on Loftus Road in ages. Sam, I look forward to seeing you there. And I'm sure we will talk to you guys probably after the Charlton game, unless we get a famous win at QPR, which I'm just desperate to talk about. But if not, have a good Easter. Come on, you golden boys. See you later, guys.